Hey guys, what's up? I was asked a few weeks ago to do a video talking about training at home, and I do have some experience with this, as that's how I started training in the first place. When I was a teenager, I think I was like 12, 13, I started to do some minor training at home. I was getting more interested in trying to do, physical training and trying to change my body. I did Taekwondo back then, and my teacher there told me that, oh, you're too weak, you need to get stronger. So you need to do stuff like push-ups, pull-ups, and that was mainly what I did at home, like just very basic body weight exercise. I think it would have been better for me to go to the gym right away. It would have been more effective. But back then, it was told that I was too young to go to the gym. I had to wait until I was 15, 16, whatever. And so I just did my first years. Like I did this, I think, for like 2, 3 years, just training at home. And it was mainly doing push-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups, and some crunches. And so I do have some experience with this. And also during the pandemic, I had to go back to training at home. And because the gyms closed, and it was actually very hard because of several reasons. So, my bottom line, my experience and my opinion on this matter, it's very limited depending on how much space you have, what you can have at home. Like if you can build your own home gym, then well, it's like fine. It's gonna be the same thing in practice as going to the gym. If you can have like a squat rack, a bench press at home, if you can do those things, like then it's fine. But if you live like in a place where you don't have much things available, you only have like maybe some dumbbells or those weights that you can wrap around your legs. Like I do that for like chin ups. You would to do like weighted chin ups or pull ups. You might be able to do some progress, but not in every single muscle group. When I was a teenager, I mainly had progress in regards to back and biceps. And why? Because of chin-ups and pull-ups. The push-ups didn't do much because my problem was that I pretty much like stale and I pretty much like I progressed until a certain point and then I kind of stopped caring about it. And with push-ups and chin-ups, they are harder to do than push-ups. In push-ups at one point, I was doing like 20, 30, and I kind of stopped it there, So I stopped progressing. And it is harder for you to add weight on like push-ups unless you try to like tell someone to get on your back so you can do it more. So at one point, I kind of just was not able to progress on the push-ups anymore. With the chin-ups and pull-ups, it took more work for me to get into higher reps. When I started training, I couldn't do a single rep. Then I got like 1 rep, 2 reps, 2 reps, but I kind of stopped it like between 10 to 12. When I did 10, 12, I pretty much like started doing sets of those, and I didn't try to push myself more. So I kind of stayed. But even then, just going from like doing not even being able to do one chin-up to doing like 10 chin-ups, I was able to increase my biceps and my back because of that. So what I'm trying to say is that training at home, if you have minimal equipment or like pretty much like only a pull-up bar at your door and maybe some dumbbells, maybe I don't know, like those weights that you can wrap around your leg, just have minimal equipment, you can get a development in your back and your biceps just by doing a lot of chin-ups and pull-ups. And at one point, you should also add weight to it. You can put those weights that you can wrap around your leg, or you can get this belt, which is the one that I use at the gym. It's a belt which I can wrap. I can put like plates in there. You can put like dumbbells, more just wrap weights, or you can do like something that I did during the pandemic. I would do push-ups and pull-ups with a weighted backpack. I would have this backpack, then I would put inside the backpack a bunch of dumbbells that I had at home. But it was frustrating because it wasn't like it was just bad. It was hard for me to put the backpack with the weights on. I think I had like 50 kilograms in the weight because I would put like a bunch of little dumbbells. I would put like those weight that you can wrap around your leg. I would just put a lot of weight there inside the backpack. But it wasn't like very like it was hard to keep the balance because it kept going to one side or the other. And then it was hard for me to get into position of the push-up. That was like the hardest part, just to put on the backpack and try to get on the position of the push-up. And it still was very hard to keep balance because the weights were not very like, it was not consistent. It's not like a barbell at the gym, which you have the same weights on each side. In the backpack, the weights kept moving, so it was hard to keep balance. It was a mess. But during the pandemic, training was very stressful. I didn't even try to gain muscle mass during the pandemic at home. I was trying to just maintain, and I did a cut. I tried to lose body fat and just do more cardio at home because I had like a treadmill here. And then I just used like minimal training at home just to maintain muscle mass during the pandemic. So for chest and triceps, it's gonna be really hard. You can try to do push-ups with weights, and you might be able to get some progress at a certain point, but you're gonna stall, and it's gonna be hard. And if you want to try to increase weight on the push-ups, it's gonna be annoying. You can try to do dips using like 2 chairs, but for me at here, the chairs that I had available to do dips, like improvised dips, They were bad. They were like not very good for my hands. Like I couldn't put my hands well on it. It was like hurting my hands. I think the problem with training at home is that you are using things that are not very well suited for weightlifting training. Like I was using trying to do dips using chairs, and the chairs hurt my hands because of the position there. You know, like that you try to do it there, and sometimes they could like maybe slip. It was just bad because it's not equipment that is like made for weightlifting. You're just like improvising. You know, improvising can give you like injuries. Thankfully, I never got an injury training at home, but it's problematic. You know, you can have some trouble, and the results will never be as good. Like there's nothing that's gonna compare for chest development as doing bench press, inclined bench press with a barbell. Like there's no comparison. So for the back, sure, I think that pull-ups and chin-ups, if you're adding weight over time, if you're gaining weight because you're bulking, you might be able to compare to rows, like barbell rows. You can develop well your biceps in your back by training at home, just by relying on doing chin-ups, pull-ups, and eventually adding weight by wrapping weights on your legs or doing a backpack with more weight. But push-ups is going to be more problematic. It's going to be hard. I mean, for the triceps and your chest, dips is going to be hard unless you buy something specific for it. And the hardest part of training at home, legs. Can you develop good legs training at home? That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be stupid hard because, like, even at the gym, what you have to develop great legs is gonna be at the barbell squat, or if you like, it's too hard for you, you can go do machines. But even then, like, it's like leg presses. How can you like replace that at home? There's nothing you can do. I had the weights that I could wrap around like my ankles, and I would do like leg extensions or leg curls using those weights. That I would wrap around my legs, and I would do the movement of leg extensions or leg curls for it, but it was just not much. I could get a pump there, but it wasn't very effective. It's not as effective as doing a barbell squat. I tried to squat at home, but it was very painful because it was painful because of the weight that I was using. I was using the backpack. Doing squats without weight, they're not gonna do much. It might improve for a little bit. Like it's possible for you to gain a little bit of muscle mass just by doing a little bit of push-ups with just your body weight, doing a little squats with just your body weight, but not much. That's what I'm trying to say. Like you cannot develop it a lot by doing just like body weight exercise without adding more weight. With the push-ups and chin-ups, you can do because not only they are harder, but also you can add weight easier for it. So it can be you can do that with those exercises. But for the squats, like I try to squat while holding the backpack on my hands, and it was very painful because it's just very uncomfortable. I think that the problem is that it's just uncomfortable, and there's a point where like my legs can take more weight, but my hands cannot because I was like holding the backpack with like a bunch of weight in my hands while trying to squat, and my legs were like fine. The problem was that my hands, it was very uncomfortable, and then like the backpack was kind of slipping away from my hands. I tried to wrap around my shoulders the backpack, but the position was just bad. When I squatted, the backpack would just like bump into my quads. It was just terrible. So I would say that if you are training at home, if you cannot go to the gym, I mean, you should go to the gym. If you want gains, it's gonna help you much more. But if you are training at home, I would recommend you, if you have a lot of space, get a barbell squat, get a bench press, get a pull-up bar. Those are gonna be the best options. If you cannot do that, if you're like living in a small apartment and you only have small equipments available, well, the pull-up bar on your door is gonna be your first bet. But that's only gonna work to develop your back and your biceps. For your chest and triceps, push-ups with weights, but it's gonna be hard over time. You're gonna have to find a way to put weight on your back when you do push-ups. I mean, if you have like a roommate, if you have a girlfriend, tell them to jump on your back and do push-ups with someone on top of you. That can work. But for the back squat, I mean, you can try to ask someone to jump on your back or do the back squat, but the position is just like harder. So I would say that you might be able to develop a good upper body at home, even with limited equipment, but not for the legs. Like the legs, there's just no way. Like that, it's just gonna be very hard. Like I don't, unless you can put a barbell, a rack, like a rack squat on your home somehow. But with just like little dumbbells, you're not gonna be able to do much. Like your legs, like probably have a very low chance of developing well by training at home. You cannot replace the barbell squat with anything else. The squats that you can do at home won't be able to do much for your quads. Deadlifting, same thing. Like even if you have like some small dumbbells, it's not gonna be enough for you to like to do stiff-legged or Romanian deadlifts. It's just not gonna be able to develop your hamstring or your quads much. You can calf raises, like you're gonna need more weight. Like you're gonna need. I try to do calf raises with my backpack and weights. but it wasn't enough. Like the calves can take a lot of beating. You need to progress more over time, and there's gonna reach a point at home which you're gonna have to like keep buying more weight to add into to you. You know, at one point you're gonna already be using all the little dumbbells that you have, all the if you have like some plates, if you have like maybe a small barbell, the plates there or the weights that you can wrap around. Like at one point you're gonna run out of weight. You're gonna reach a limit, and you're gonna have to progress more, or you're gonna keep have to buy more and more weight. So it's better to just go to the gym. Training at home can be very limited and frustrating because that was like my experience. When I was a teenager, I didn't really try that hard. I thought it was just, oh, I'm just gonna do some push-ups and pull-ups, and that's gonna be enough. I should have just progressed a little bit more. I could have made more gains. But after you have already made some gains, after you are like not more a beginner lifter, like you won't be able to progress training at home. If you are used someone that has already trained in many years doing bench press, squats, barbell rolls at the gym, and you go back to train at home, like you're gonna there's nothing you can do to progress more. Like your body is already well developed from doing barbell squats. You need to do more barbell squats with heavier weight to progress. Going back home, like there is nothing you can do to replace that. You're gonna stall, and you just gonna have to actually try hard to not lose muscle mass, because that's gonna be another problem. But training at home is a problem depending on how much space you have available, how much money are you willing to spend. I would, and especially for the lower body, like I said, upper body you can do some things here and there to develop it, but even then it still might be a little bit limiting depending on how much equipment you have at home. So well, that's pretty much my experience with that. I still recommend people to go to the gym, but if you cannot do that, I'm sure you can make some gains for your upper body at home. Even make it like noticeable gains in which people are gonna notice if you do it very well. But for the lower body, I really don't think it's gonna be possible.